Your 30s is the most powerful time in your life. And on the board behind me, I have 5 techniques to take advantage and capitalize on every single minute of it. In the intro, I said that your 30s is the most powerful decade of your life. Some of you might be wondering, what do I specifically mean by that? Well, I like to say that in your 20s, you have the world by the balls, you just don't realize it, or you don't take advantage of it, right? You're still building your skill set, you're still maturing, you're still figuring out how you can add value to the marketplace, right? You're growing into adulthood. And in your 40s, you have a full deck of cards up here, you just have a lot less time. So your 30s is really the golden hour of designing how the rest of your life is going to play out. There's some big mistakes to avoid, and there's some major things that you can do to make sure that you get the life that you want. So let's talk about number 1 here. What we all need to stop doing is comparing yourself to those who are worse off than you, right? It's a psychological mechanism to somehow find comfort and accept the current level that you're at right now, right? Oh, I have $30,000 in student loans, but at least I'm not like my friend Joe who has $80,000 in student loans. Well, Joe's situation doesn't change the fact that you're still massively in debt. The fact that he's worse off than you doesn't make your situation better. So I see this a lot. It's a way to psychologically justify where you're at in your life and somehow find comfort and be content in that current moment, even though you truly know deep inside it's not where you want to be. So what you should be doing is setting the appropriate benchmark, right? If your benchmark is average, you're always likely to be average. If your benchmark is something better or higher than that, comparing yourself to people who are just a little bit more successful than you are, dangle that carrot in front of yourself, both professionally and personally in your personal life, and you'll always be constantly improving rather than looking backwards and saying, well, at least I'm not like that guy. Well, that doesn't change your situation in now. Again, is upping that benchmark and comparing yourself to people who are a little bit more successful than you and figuring out how they got there. Which brings me to number 2, stop associating with unsuccessful and undisciplined people, both in your professional and personal life. Now, we all have a couple drinking buddies and we all have times where, we like to goof off and have fun, and it's not particularly anything about setting goals or business and climbing the ladder, so to speak. But generally overall, you want to make sure that you're spending your valuable time with people who are also climbing in the ladder, with people who have similar goals, with people who have aspirations, with people who have both professional discipline in their career and personal discipline in their own lifestyle. So it's really important that, it's interesting, I got in some trouble in my youth, and the judge told me, when I was a teenager, if you run with the skunks, you start to smell like the skunks, right? And so this is perfectly, this applies to people in all stages of life, right? Stop associating with people that are just going to drag you down, because it's true, through osmosis, you're never going to improve yourself when you hang around people that are either lower than you professionally, right, or as far as aspirations go. They're just going to drag you down. You're going to get in trouble through osmosis, right? You're going to start to smell like a skunk. And this is particularly easy, and it's getting easier and easier to network with people that you aspire to be like, or people that may help you elevate your life. Harness the power of technology, right? Join groups, join clubs, even Instagram, even though there's a lot of garbage on there, there's some really nice pages on Instagram. Harness the power of your phone, harness the power of the internet, right? You don't specifically have to meet people physically face-to-face in person to take advantage of learning from people that you want to aspire to get to, or aspire to get to that next level. Step number 3 is stop prioritizing other things over financial security. Money isn't everything in life, but money is the lubricant to life. A lot of problems in your life can be solved by money, and a lot of stresses in your life come from lack of money, lack of a solid financial foundation. So, stop buying pets that you particularly can't afford or care for, or haven't done the math on how much that pet is going to cost over its lifetime. Also, a little side note there, it's really not fair to that animal if you can't afford to properly take care of it. Also, vacations, right? Spending a little bit more on vacations when you know truly in your head, when you're doing the math, when you're there about to spend money, you know you truly can't afford it. So why are you doing it? Just to go home and be in the hole, right? Cars, having a nicer car when, you know, a cheaper model will suffice for now. TVs, electronics, right? Full sleeve tattoo, but you can't afford to put away for, you know, an emergency fund. Things like that. You know, you kind of, in this point, I like to say, you kind of have to take yourself to the principal's office, right? And you have to be uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. And this video might not be comfortable for some people, right? But it's kind of like if you're out of shape and you go to the gym, it's not going to be comfortable, but the results are going to be 100% rewarding. And so it's the same thing with finances. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, look at the budget and say, you know, where am I being undisciplined, right? Where am I truly being lazy? Where am I being wasteful? Where can I improve, right? So you kind of have to put yourself on trial for number 3. The easiest way to do this is pay yourself first, right? If you have a 401k with a match, I just recently did a video on that. If you have a 401k with a match, that's the easiest way to get ahead. Not only pay yourself first, but have other people pay you as well, right? Your 401k. And here's what I mean by your 30s being the golden hour, right? So your 20s, you don't realize the power you have. The 40s, you do realize the power, you just have a lot less time. Here's the time value of money, and I hope a lot of people truly understand this with compound interest. Putting away $100 a month in your 30s is the same as putting away $220 in your 40s, according to a 7% annual compound rate of return. So for every $100 that you don't put away in your 30s, you have to put away $220 just to catch up, just to break even from what you could have done. And so when you think about it, when people come up with these excuses to stay within their comfort zone, you know, in their 30s, oh, I have newborn baby and I have this and I have that. Well, in your 40s, you know, you're going to have college expenses, sports, right? Orthodontist, right? So if you can't save that decade, what about your 50s? Well, now you have medical bills, right? So every decade of your life, there's always going to be financial hurdles, so to speak. The easiest way is to start early and save for those things, have an emergency fund, and be disciplined with some of the luxuries in life. Defer some of that enjoyment to later on, and it'll be much more enjoyable. So take advantage of the time in your 30s. Number 4, stop the short-term thinking. One of the most successful traits that I've seen in successful people, whether it's financial or whether it's other forms of success in life, is they're good at thinking long-term. What am I doing now in my life to benefit myself 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years in the future? Even though it's incredibly hard to relate to what may happen to me or what I might want to do in the future, is there things that I can do now to prepare myself, not only financially, but other things that are related to this, right? In your 20s, if you like to party a lot, maybe moderate that a little bit, right? For instance, me personally, I like to smoke cigars, but I make sure to only smoke maybe 3 or 4 per year. You know, I'm not a huge partier. I watch the type of food I eat, right? Go get a blood test once per year. The more you take care of your body earlier on, the more money you will have later on due to saving on massive medical costs. The one thing that'll eat up your portfolio in retirement is medical bills, right? Unless we have some major legislation change in the next several decades, a lot of your retirement money will be going to medical bills. So if you take care of yourself now, it's an investment in yourself for the future. So enjoy things in moderation, right? Like I said, my big thing is cigars. Love pizza, but I always moderate myself. And look, I'll even call myself out more. If you've been a long-time subscriber, some of my videos, you'll notice I'm a little bit bigger in some of my videos. I tend to fluctuate 10 to 15 pounds usually. So when I'm on the heavier side, when I get on the scale, I make sure to really cut back. And then sometimes I'll go a little bit to the skinnier side and I give myself some leeway. But as long as you're monitoring your health, you don't have to be a health nut. You don't have to be a CrossFit, you know, freak and go to the gym every day. But just everything in moderation. Enjoy your life responsibly, and you'll be able to do so for many years. Number 5, stop relying on your current skill set. As the world evolves, your skill set needs to evolve. The day you stop learning is really the day that you stop earning, right? So you constantly want to be learning. You do want to become hard to replace, whether it's in the marketplace or any other form of adding value, right, to other people's lives. Always read, right? Continuing education doesn't necessarily mean formal classes and formal degrees. What are some skills that you can learn? What are some techniques and things that you can learn to add value to the marketplace for years to come? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this lifestyle design video. And I really want to hammer home the point. If you're watching this and you're in your 20s, you truly do have the world by the balls. You just might not be at the position yet to truly make some big strides, but you can start. Also, I get emails and messages from people all the time, and I have people tell me in person. I have older family members tell me, that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, I wish I would have done X 10 years ago. I wish I would have done Y 5 years ago, right? So don't be like that. In fact, if you're in your 40s and 50s watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You wish you would have started investing maybe a few years earlier, right? So let me know in the comment section down below what you're currently doing to design a lifestyle that you want. Also, if you're older, maybe you can give some tips to us younger individuals on things and pitfalls that we can watch out for in the comment section down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next video.